the cherry on the cake, the husband and the business partner, Datta Groover, just joined us. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Nice to be here.
Datta is the director of the Authentic Speaker Academy. He's the husband. He's an amazing public speaker and a great teacher. Also, the author of the upcoming book, The Courageous Speaker: How to Maximize Your Income and Impact by Delivering Life-Changing Presentations. And you will find in that book top strategies on why we have this public speaking fear and how to overcome and how to deliver these amazing strategies. Because in the corporate world, at least, number one fear is the fear of public speaking. And so many people cannot get their message out there because of this fear. But for today, we will have a different topic. I would love to be able in the future to interview you on the topic of public speaking and how really to break through this fear and just be amazing and, contribute with our talents and letting our message out. We have the surprise for our audience, and this is about 5 mistakes that successful, independent, strong women make when we relate to masculine, but from 2 perspectives. From the feminine perspective and masculine perspective. So, what are those 5 mistakes that we are making, ladies?
Well, the first one I would say is the mistake of not appreciating his masculinity, his masculine essence. So, there's certain things about anyone that we can appreciate, but the masculine, we feel, has been criminalized in many ways, shut down.
Yes.
Women say, oh, that's, he's just being a man, or men are pigs is something I've heard, before. Just putting down men and not really appreciating the masculine, would you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, and even men, because, frankly, men have done a lot of bad stuff throughout history. And to put it all like masculine is bad, a lot of people have that message. And a lot of even men have that, and they back away from their own natural masculine, thinking that it's not good, because masculine doesn't mean bad. It's like, a lot of bad things have been done in the name of masculinity. So like Rachael Jayne said, so it's been kind of criminalized, so it has a bad connotation, and then people back away from it, and they hear it so many places they believe it, and they consider it truth, because an unfortunate aspect of human nature is when we hear something many times, your grandmother says it, you hear it on the news, this person says it, you read it in the newspaper, it must be true.
Rumor has it,
and people believe it.
Yes.
So that's one of the unfortunate side effects.
Yes.
And the way to turn that around is pretty simple. It's like just becoming, aware of all the great things that the masculine blesses us with,
Right.
and becoming a vessel of praise for the masculine. So I like, being able to
look
see.
at his face, he likes it.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to my face. Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah. So if there's something that I see Datta do, particularly if it's in his masculine, I want to be able to say that.
Right.
And, he's used to being around all the women that we work with, and
Yes.
we love his masculine, but a lot of men aren't. And so how can you, listening, be a vessel of praise for the masculine, and notice when you say something, not just like, oh, thank you for doing that, but I loved how you did that. It felt very masculine.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to really lift the men in your life.
Without it being phony. Because, flattery is useless to everybody. There's no point in it. If it's meant, though, then it can be taken in.
Yeah.
The second mistake is, taking the lead in, or taking the masculine role, I should say, not the lead, but the masculine role in intimate relationship if he doesn't step up and do it. So the masculine is really being there to, direct and be a man and all of that, and it's like, okay, well, if he's just going to be in his yin and have no direction, I've got to step up.
I'm better.
Or if I ask him to do something and he doesn't, well, I've just got to do it, and what we, encourage is just to play with, like, not doing that and seeing what happens when you stop. You've got a great example of the dance. And we're talking about here in intimate relationships.
Yes, absolutely.
Not necessarily business relationships, because there's, sometimes women lead, sometimes we follow, we're in different situations, but in intimate relationship, I think it's really important for the woman not to take the masculine role. So what should we do if we find ourselves wanting to do it because the man's not stepping up?
Right. Well, I used to teach salsa. And salsa is a fun dance. It's a really, really fun partner dance. And a lot of women, the biggest question I get asked, women would ask me, what do I do if I'm not feeling the man's lead, if he's not a strong lead? Now, what a lot of women do is what's called back leading in salsa. So they're kind of pretending to follow, but they're really leading them.
Yeah.
They hate it. And what I tell the women to do is to stop. If you're not feeling the lead, just stop. And then the man will usually stop and say, "What's going on?" And the woman should just say, "I'm not feeling the lead." Not to make him wrong, not to say you're not leading, but to say I'm just not feeling the lead.
Yeah.
And then he can either try to be a stronger lead or he'll walk away.
Yeah.
And I tell the women, and if he walks away, great. Then you get to dance with somebody who is, willing to try to be a good leader.
Yeah. So it's sort of breaking the pattern, or something like this. Stop what you're doing.
Right. And not just like, okay, he's not leading, like Rachael Jayne was saying. He's not leading, I have to fill the gap. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to do the, whatever leading and take his role. And that therefore he doesn't feel like it ever needs to happen. And sometimes, like I said, we were talking about the criminalization of the masculinity, and there's also, sometimes men are just lazy. Like the woman's doing all the leading. It's like, I just sit back and let it all happen.
Yeah.
Because it's laziness.
Yeah.
But they're not happy, and then the woman's not happy with them.
No, not at all. We don't feel the presence, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It takes patience, not to want to I'll just get it done.
Yeah.
But it is worth, changing that dynamic around and not stepping forward.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
The third mistake is not understanding that men really want a woman to inspire him out of his head, because he's in his head so much,
Yes.
thinking about things and we all, we talk about this in Art of Feminine Presence, just being in the body and how feeling in the body is so powerful, and the men want that too. And the easiest sort of best way I think men think of getting out of their head is sex. It's like they're like, I want sex. It helps me get into my body and out of that at the end of the day or what have you. But women need to understand that it's not just about the sex. So to find ways in intimate relationship to inspire a man out of his head. It might be physical touch. It might be expressing yourself through your body and through your voice more.
He likes it.
In a way that brings him present. So it's not just starved for it.
Right.
And the only way that they think or have been trained is sex. And to, keep cultivating that.
Right.
Yeah. And the fourth is to think that you don't need a man. It's a mistake that a lot of women do. It's like, I don't
Sounds
need
familiar,
a man.
yeah.
Sounds totally familiar to me.
Yeah.
I don't need one. I'm totally self-sufficient here. And I hear a lot of times people go, no, I don't need one. I want one, but I don't need one. And there's an importance in that, in the word need.
Yes.
Of that need. It's like more vulnerable than want.
Yeah.
And strong, independent women find a hard time feeling into their vulnerability.
Yes.
But men are attracted
Yes.
to something that is needed. They want to be needed and to feel vulnerability, which is why I hear a lot of women, and I was definitely there, going, why, like, I'm strong, I'm, not needy. Why are these men going out, these great men going out with needy bimbo women?
Yes.
What is that all about? And there's an attraction there to I've got something to give, I've got something to protect, I've got something to give. And so successful women are caught in this catch-22 situation of I don't need a man, and then they're not attracting that in, whether they're single or partnered. Do you see that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Part of the biology of men is that we actually want to make women happy. We want to do things for them, we want to give them things, we want to provide home for them and shelter and protection, and if women are like, yeah, I don't need any of that, I've got it all together, it's like, okay, there's nothing really for me to do.
Yeah.
And there's not that masculine fulfillment within the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys really need to feel that we need you.
Yes.
We need them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the listeners can feel like,
Feels
ooh,
good.
Yeah.
It feels good to say it. Yes, yes, we need men.
Yeah. You know, we live in a society that's just becoming busier all the time.
Yes.
Everyone. I don't care if you work for somebody else, have your own business, and everyone's always becoming busier. It's easy to let a relationship not be the first priority. Oh, we do this together. Oh, we have sex together. Oh, we do that together. We eat together, whatever. But rather than, okay, how can I create polarity in that relationship that, see, I said that and she smiles. It just makes that tension, it raises the tension a little bit in a very good way.
Yeah.
That adds excitement to the relationship and kind of helps sustain it, really.
I love that. We are living in a society, exactly as you said, fast moving,
Right.
and the rate of divorces is increasing like this. And people are jumping, are ending relationships, families are, destroyed. And they said, oh, I don't feel any passion, there's no polarity. That's one spectrum, or one side of the spectrum, or they go into open relationships. And actually going within, we can reignite the polarity, create the polarity and reignite the passion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can do that, consciously, but we've also seen so many couples, I think we get more thank you notes from men after women have been to the feminine presence work than with men, because men are really craving that too from their women, as well as we are craving the masculine from our men.
Right.
Yeah.
We have created a lot of extremely grateful men that we've never met. Seriously.
Yes.
It's funny.
Yes. And actually, I think that the more we are into our feminine, the more we are opening to our men to meet. We need to meet in the middle. It's not one-way street, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We will navigate in two boats parallel in the same direction. So still keeping our individuality, but going into the same direction. I mean, from your perspective, what would be the top 2 tips for a successful, fulfilling relationship in the long run?
So a relationship that's already started,
Intimate.
or tips to create the relationship?
Well, I would say a relationship that it started, but also for the people that are not in a relationship, you become more conscious when you start thinking what you really want in a relationship, like going in the same direction, or
Ultimately, commitment. The easiest thing to say, the most true for me is commitment. Because if there's commitment there, then even if there's, or especially when there's disagreement, so let's just say we have disagreement. Of course, we never disagree. Not exactly true. But let's just say we have a disagreement.
humor. Yeah.
If there's commitment there, then we're going to get this worked out.
Yes.
If the commitment's not as deep, it's like, we just it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it matters. It matters to get things worked out. And ultimately, as human beings, in relationship, we are drawn to get our issues to the surface.
Yeah.
And we're attracted to somebody who's going to get those issues to the surface.
Yes.
And it's not always comfortable.
Yeah.
But if the commitment is there in the relationship, then it's very, very, it's going to come out, it's going to get worked out, and both people are going to benefit tremendously from it.
Do you consciously, I'm just curious, do you consciously sit together and sit together, talk and set goals, I know you work together, so
Right.
of course you create your business goals. But about your relationship, about your life, is it?
I wouldn't necessarily call them goals, but our desires. So he's always asking me, what else do you want? You know, what else do you want in our relationship? What do you want in your work? What's your perfect day look like? What else can we tweak? And then I respond and then ask him too. And so it's coming from like that desire, which is the goal. But it's like, what's going to make us happy
Inside,
in all the areas, and that we feed that for each other. You know, if he comes up with things, okay, so then it helps me go into how can I help him get that, and him helping me get that, because like he says, you know, if the woman's happy, but mama
I'm
happy,
happy.
everyone's happy.
Yes, that's
And
true.
I feel-
That's true.
Everybody
That's
I feel
very.
like
is
that
true,
too
yeah.
with you as well. I feel like that, you know, I want you to be happy, and then I'm happier. So that's a big part. And I think you've said too a great saying. I don't know who said it. You'll know as soon as I say it. But for those who are in relationship, for those who aren't in relationship
Yet,
and then going into relationship, is before relationship,
Oh.
eyes wide open, really looking for all the red flags, making sure you're looking for everything. And after relationship, after commitment, eyes half shut, like just allowing things to slide,
Right,
you
not
know,
looking
and
for
not
the
being
faults,
so
yeah.
critical and
Yeah.
just, you know, once you made that commitment.
Right. Benjamin Franklin said that.
Nice,
Very wise.
nice.
And absolutely true.
And to end our short, beautiful discussion, with your permission, I would like to give him the last word. And I'm just curious, what do you adore and love most about this woman when she's in her full feminine power?
Wow, what a question. What do I love most? I would say what I love most is the fact that she's so inspiring and supportive. Like when she's completely in her feminine, and she's just, first of all, it just brings out the best in me, right? There's no sense of competition. There's no like I'm trying to do better than you. She's in her full feminine. I just feel in my masculine, inspired to be the best man I can possibly be. And part of that's making her happy, but the other part of it is I have my direction in life. And I know what I want to do in my life, and she encourages that. And it's funny because a lot of women get this wrong, right? They think like, oh, I need to be the center of his world, right? I need to be, and so, hey, look at me, I'm in the center, I want to be the center. And it's like, hey, you forgot to do this for me, and it's like they're whining and they're demanding and this and that. So that's one of the things I absolutely love. She never does that. She never demands, she never whines, and she doesn't say like, hey, I want to be the center of your world. But because she does that, because she takes that more feminine role, then I want to give her everything. And I even want to anticipate, okay, what does she really want? What does she need? What's going to make her really happy? So she didn't even have to ask for it.
Nice.
So yeah, so it kind of works opposite of how some people, some women imagine that thing working. And men are programmed to make their women happy. That's how we're actually happiest if we're, and women too. If you're in an intimate partnership, then women wants to make the man happy. With the men, is a deeper biological need for that to happen.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. And it just, I believe with men in general, it will bring out the best in us if we have a woman that really is in her feminine, for us to come out and just be our absolute best. So that's one of the things. Another thing I absolutely love about her is that when she's in her feminine, she's so incredibly attractive to people everywhere, like all around her. You see her when she's up on stage, she's in front of her workshops. People are just so attracted to her. I love that about her. I love that, and she inspires so many people.
Yes, she does.
With her work. It's just incredible. Yeah, and then, you hear her, when you hear her talking to somebody, like if she's doing a one-on-one coaching or she's working with somebody in front of the room or she's talking to the whole group, she's just a reservoir of compassion. She really, really feels that, that love for people, and she expresses it. And not in some woo-woo, oh, I love you, and this, she comes out in a very genuine way and lives her life that way.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure. And till next time on our interview on public speaking. Yes?
I look forward to that. It's
Thank
been a pleasure
you.
to be here.
It's been
Thank
a
you
pleasure.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.